Hello and welcome to Digital Video Production's final screening for the spring 2021 semester. We have some great stuff to show you and I hope you enjoy. Hi, today I'm going to be teaching you how to make cold brew coffee. All you need is coffee. You can use beans or pre-ground, it doesn't really matter. Some water. Vanilla extract, it's optional. You can use cinnamon or even like almond extract. A couple of jars, one to brew your coffee in and one to store it in once it's filtered. A couple of cups to filter your coffee in. I'm using Starbucks cups because reduce, reuse, recycle. Some coffee filters. And a coffee grinder if you're using beans. So, all you have to do is grind up your beans, throw them in your jar, add your flavor enhancer, add some water, shake it up to get it all mixed in, and leave to sit for at least 8 hours. I left mine for 24, came back the next day, and started setting up the filter. So I'm making sure that my rubber bands are on there tight and pretty flat. I don't want my coffee filters to slip. That's happened to me before. I set out a dishcloth because I'm very messy when I pour. And filtering is the easiest part because all you have to do is wait. Here I'm gently squeezing the filter to get the last bits of coffee out. You want to be careful so that you don't end up with a rip because you don't want coffee grinds in your coffee. And there you go, you have beautiful cold brew.
Today, I'll be showing you how to flesh out a character. Step 1. Make the character. Hello, I am. Insert name here. I am soft and wholesome. My brother is very protective of me. Step 2. Give them a backstory. What have they been through before the start of the book? I lived in Canada with my brother for years. We were happy there, but left for mysterious reasons. Step 3. Notice your character is lacking depth. Something bothers you about this character, and you can't put your finger on why. Find out what you dislike. Something about you being so innocent and protected doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't feel true to who you're meant to be. Now that you've found the problem, it's time for step 4. Think about the character. Try listening to music you think suits them. Just let the character sit in your mind for a few days. Don't pressure yourself. Soon, you'll move on to step 5. Realize some new details. What if they seem innocent to others, but are actually more calculating and angry than they appear? Step 6. After they have a bit more personality, give them some drives. fears, goals, wants, needs, hatreds, loves. This will help your character have some consistency and a sense of direction. I needed a change of pace. That's why I left Canada. I find new experiences interesting. We did it! Now you're not cardboard deep down. High five!
Yo, what's going on, guys? And the tutorial I'll be showing you today is how to add music to iMovie. Now, say you're working on a project and you're like, dang, this sounds pretty bland. And if you want music on it, I'm gonna show you how right now. Alright, first you need to have a project, so I'm gonna mash it. Alright, I just chose a random clip of my phone, so as you see, it has no volume. Alright, you need to click the plus sign over here. So click the plus sign on the left. Now, if you have like an app like Apple Music or something, then you can use audio. But if you don't, then you need to have the audio or music downloaded in files. And once you add your music, you'll be set. And here's just test that it works. See? You'll be able to hear it down there. And yeah, hope this helps.
In this video, I'll basically be taking you through a step-by-step and kind of like a little run-through of how I like to go about my drawings, and also offer some tips that I've learned and just kind of my strategy in when I start drawing. And so the first thing that I like to do is obviously to find who I want to draw in the picture, and usually that starts with picking a person who I admire, or like listening to their music or watching them, usually from the film or music industry. So in this video I picked Ariana Grande, and then I go through their social media or pick a photo shoot that they've done to choose a picture that I think I can draw and is within my realm of like skill, but also challenges me a little bit to help me grow. And from there, I usually like to start with a base of Copic markers, which is a brand of alcohol markers, as the base, which kind of helps make the color pencil that you layer on top more smooth and glossy. But I didn't do it for this drawing, but it's just something I usually do with other ones. After that, I like to gather my color pencils to find the shades that I think I'll need. And I usually think about undertones and, you know, kind of like yellows, blues, and purples that I might need to use, highlights, shadows, and also just the base colors that I have, which will help me reach like the proper skin tone and like different colors in the picture. From there, I layer everything onto the paper, and I start with very light strokes and shading, and builds up from there with many different colors. So I never usually use just one straight color pencil. It's always multiple ones to get it the most accurate. And like I said, I build on top of each other with multiple layers, and it's just, you never want to press hard with your color pencil on the paper, so it's just very lightly, and it's pretty long and tedious, but it kind of pays off. And then I usually leave like certain facial features and structures for the end, or at least I start with one side and then move on to the other when I'm near the end. You can kind of see in this clip where I leave the last side of the face for the end, just to help with symmetry and proportions. But yeah, and then also for highlights, I usually leave that blank with no color pencil until the very end, so I can keep it as bright as possible when it is a highlight. And yeah, I usually like to retouch everything up at the end with highlights and extra white paints, and just go through and finish any small details that I missed, or refine anything that I might want to, which is still something that I need to do on this drawing. But for other reasons, I just kind of showed you my basic process, and that's basically what goes through my mind and what I think about when I have to do a drawing.
Yeah, there's 5 more left. Oh, I got him. I sniped him. Oh, okay. All right. I'm coming. There's 3 more left. Man, this game sucks. Alright, guys. Alright, yeah. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Man. Man. Yeah, I think it's about time to go to bed. Hey, was that the doorbell? Hey. Oh, it could be at my door at this time. You? What's up, man? How you been? Nah, this can't be real. I gotta be dreaming of something. Nope, this is as real as they get. Like, how did you find me, man? Hey, I ain't no creep. This wasn't on purpose. It's just coincidental that you just moved to this new neighborhood. Okay. Anyway, you know the deal. I got some candy in my pockets. Are you willing to buy some? You know what? Hey, man, you look like you need it, so how much does it cost? Okay, so I settled down the prices from last time. They're just $1 each. Alright, I'm gonna go get that. You stay right here. This is most definitely the last time that I'm giving this guy money. He's lucky I'm nice. Alright, here you go, man. Give me the candy. Alright, thanks. Easy money. Was that all a dream? Wow. None of that was even real, bro. That seems so real.
On March 29th at approximately 2:38 a.m., Adam Toledo, a 13-year-old Hispanic boy who was in the 7th grade at Gary Elementary School, was shot and killed by a 34-year-old police officer named Eric Stillman. Stillman, of the Chicago Police Department, has had multiple complaints and reports of excessive force used in the field in the past. That morning, police were called to the scene after neighbors heard gunshots, and police officers claimed to have seen Adam and his older brother shoot a gun and then run away, which led to officers to chase on foot. As seen on the body cam footage, it shows Adam both running and throwing the gun aside. At the end of the alley, it ends up in a confrontation in which Stillman yells at Adam to show his hands and put his hands up multiple times. However, when Adam finally does comply, Stillman fires one fatal shot to the chest. On this tragic day, a life was lost, a life full of potential that wasn't given the chance to find who he truly was, nor given the chance to truly live his life. Adam was given no chance to explain himself. He was not given a chance to live long enough to say one word to this police officer before being murdered. His life was in the hands of people who were meant to protect him, to protect ourselves, our children, and everybody living in the city. A scared young boy who didn't know what he was doing, who complied with police, was shot dead. He was not taken into custody. He was not questioned. He was merely a child whose life was taken away too soon. Police are not executioners. Police do not decide who gets to live and die after clearly complying. Police first instinct should not be to shoot to kill. Instances like this happen way too frequently to not be getting the proper attention and proper punishment for their actions. Quite frankly, instances like this should never be happening. And yet they still do, allowed by a system that was disproportionately designed to tear apart and target communities consisting of people of color, communities of those who uphold and built the foundation of our country, yet still get treated this way. Communities that are left to fend for themselves and turned a blind eye by the public and media, while the consequences of these systems ravage through them. We see children murdered, teenagers filtered in and out through prison pipelines, people turning to anything they can to make a living and struggling to adapt to their own neighborhoods due to gentrification. And yet they are still somehow the dangerous ones. Police all over the country abuse their power to target and single out people of color, as we have seen way too many times in our recent past, including the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. There is not one singular root to this problem, but the so heavily ingrained racism in our society is definitely a point to start, which leads to these kinds of reactions from police, and continues with a lack of structured training for incoming officers, lack of proper background checks, the overusage of lethal force, availability of firearms, and a lack of responsibility and accountability in the force taken by those who have done wrong.
Hi, my name is Arlicia, and I currently live in North Lawndale, which is super close to Little Village. I've lived here for about a year and a half. I don't feel safe around the police at all. Whenever I see them, it's like, oh my gosh, dang, like I need to like go somewhere, I need to make myself smaller, I need to just move around, like I need to go somewhere where they are not. A specific point where my view on the police changed was when I was around 7 years old, and there was this instance where I went to the police station afterwards and they questioned me. They made me feel like a burden. I was 7 and they were interrogating me. They made me feel as though the situation was my fault. They made me feel like I was a burden. He looked at me as though he didn't want to talk to me. He didn't care, and like he was just like, ugh. This negative relationship with police affects children in a lot of ways. Number one, children aren't feeling safe. Like, we're told our whole lives that the police are there to protect us. They're there, you know, in case we need help. Yet we feel as though we cannot trust them at all. Like, we're more scared of them than we are to, you know, regular civilians. Like, we look at them as like, oh, they're the bad guys. They're the ones who are gonna harm me, you know? So it's like, if we're in a dangerous situation, why would we call the police when we feel just as unsafe with them? So it's like, at least the kids feeling like, wow, like where do I go if I need help? Like, who do I call? With the situation, it made me feel angry. It made me resent the police. It made me feel unsafe. It made me feel kind of helpless, because it's like these same things keep happening, and this police brutality, the police taking away people's lives unfairly and abusing their authority. It's like this resentment, because it's like, you're here to protect me. The police are here to protect me. They're here to protect kids. They're here to protect civilians. They're here to protect us, yet they're the ones who are causing so much harm. They're the ones who are taking so many lives. It's like, what? And I fear for my own safety, because what, I'm black. Like, it puts you in that kind of headspace where it's like, whenever I see the police and I get nervous, I'm like anxious to get away. So it makes me resent them, because it's like, you're just abusing your authority at this point. Yes, whenever I see the police, I try to make myself smaller. I code switch, so I change the way that I talk in a way that would make them view me more favorably. I don't do certain actions like putting my hands in my pocket or making any, sudden movements. I can't have anything in my hand, anything that they can even think about mistaking as something that it's not, something like a gun or a knife. Yeah, it makes me feel anxious, it makes me feel scared, it makes me feel resentful, because it's like I have to take all of these unnecessary precautions because you immediately assume the worst of me simply because of the color of my skin. I'd say thoroughly clean out the current police crew, department, whatever term is used to describe them. Thoroughly clean them out. The first step we need to do is getting rid of the already crooked cops, like the cops who are already there, the ones with multiple files and complaints against them. There should be regular guidelines against police officers. Like, if they have a certain amount of complaints about them, get rid of them. And then also being more careful on who we let into the police department and who we give that authority to.
In a Washington Post study spanning 5 years looking at fatalities caused by police of Black, Indigenous, people of color, which were a total of 5,367 killings, a total of 77 Native Americans were killed, while making up a total of only 1.3% of the population in the U.S., with a total amount of 1,265 Black people being killed, while only making up a total of 13.4% of the population, and Hispanic people being killed 146 instances, while making up only 18.5% of the population, according to the 2019 census, while 76.3% of the population identified as white alone, creating a disparity in how people of color are treated compared to white people in this country. Not only this, but the use of extensive force on unarmed people of color compared to white individuals armed with lethal force who have already committed crimes presents itself at an outstanding rate. In the event of Sebastian Arzadone killing 2 people and being apprehended by the police, who proceed to offer bottled water, medical attention, and treated with respect, while people of color are beaten and harassed by people serving under the same system. And meanwhile, in Chicago, Adam Toledo, a 13-year-old child who complied with officers, was still shot and killed. As these injustices continue, they increasingly begin to affect younger people. How much longer must it take for people to realize that police are taking innocent lives, our children's lives, that the power they are abusing has no bounds, and this lack of respect for human life cannot be tolerated?
Miss Wyndham, did you hear a shot fired?
No, I was in the shower.
Okay. So, sometime in the 20 minutes that you were in the shower, your father was shot.
I guess.
Your father was shot while you were in the shower, but you didn't hear the shot because you were in the shower?
Yes. I was washing my hair.
Miss Wyndham, what had you done earlier that day?
I got up, got a latte, went to the gym, got a perm, and came home.
Well, you got in the shower?
I believe the witness has made it clear that she was in the shower.
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Wyndham, had you ever gotten a perm before?
Yes.
How many would you say?
2 a year since I was 12. You do the math.
You know, a girl in my sorority, Tracy Marcinko, got a perm once. We all tried to talk her out of it. Curls weren't a good look for her. She didn't have your bone structure. But thankfully, that same day, she entered the Beta Delta Pi wet t-shirt contest where she was completely hosed down from head to toe.
Objection. Why is this relevant?
Oh, I have a point, I promise.
Then make it.
Yes, ma'am. Chutney, why is it that Tracy Marcinko's curls were ruined when she got hosed down?
Because they got wet?
Exactly. Because isn't it the first cardinal rule of perm maintenance that you're forbidden to wet your hair for at least 24 hours after getting a perm, at the risk of deactivating the ammonium thioglycolate?
Yes.
And wouldn't somebody who's had, say, 30 perms before in their life be well aware of this rule? And if, in fact, you weren't washing your hair, as I suspect you weren't because your curls are still intact, wouldn't you have heard the gunshot? And if, in fact, you had heard the gunshot, Brooke Wyndham wouldn't have had time to hide the gun before you got downstairs, which would mean that you would have had to have found Mrs. Wyndham with a gun in her hand to make your story plausible. Isn't that right?
She's my age. Did she tell you that? How would you feel if your father married someone who was your age?
You, however, had time to hide the gun, didn't you, Chutney? After you shot your father.
I didn't mean to shoot him. I thought it was you walking through the door.
Order, order. Order.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Bailiff, take the witness into custody where she will be charged for the murder of Hayworth Wyndham. In the matter of the state versus Brooke Wyndham, this case is dismissed. Mrs. Wyndham, you're free to go.
Well, if I lock the car, it'll be fine. Who would steal a book of all things? My book! Why would anyone steal it? It was just an ordinary book. What could anyone possibly want with it? Unless it's not a normal book. I know who can help. Will you please help me? Of course, after payment. This will do nicely. Thank you for your patronage. We leave momentarily. Joljor Benai, Onto Rivan Zakok. Yes. Yes. Follow me. Give me back my book. Never. What could possibly be in there that you'd want? Why, nothing, of course. Ah! Oof. Ah! Prophet, back me up. Ugh. Not very nice of you, bro. Why did that guy say this book has nothing in it? What a liar. There's nothing in here. Wrong. Nothing isn't in there. You would notice if nothing is in there. I notice nothing in here. The pages are blank. They have nothing on them, but they are not nothing. They show where to find nothing. You lost me. Look through this then. I can see it. Well, want to go find nothing? You know it. They match. Indeed. Allow me. Nothing is very powerful. I don't want you to get hurt. Thank you. So, gonna hand that over? No. Read the room. You see, centuries ago, I was a unicorn tasked with guarding the nothing. Humans came for it, and I drove each and every one of them away. But so much time with the nothing ruined me. Whoa. I am done with guarding nothing. I am taking it for myself. No! Huh? Oops. There. Hey, who turned out the lights? I guess I'll take it then.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why.
See? Or no?
It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right.
Hello, guys.
I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
But you they feel pain, you know. I hope they do. The plants have brains.
Well, that was our final screening for this semester. I hope you enjoyed everything you saw. Big round of applause to everyone. We all worked so hard, and I'm so proud of us. I hope to see you again in the summer. Bye!